Okay, so now we'll do this part here, and it's a propeller. The inside, the kind of the middle part here, can be done with a revolve, and the blades are a little more tricky because they're bigger towards the middle as they get thinner towards the outside, and they kind of rotate as well as they come along to the outside here. So we'll use a blend for the blades of this propeller. So let's get started. All right, I'm going to start out by just making the middle section. And we'll do that by making a revolve. And to start out, to do a revolve, remember we need a center line. And then I'm going to, out from the middle, draw a horizontal line, a vertical line, and then we need an arc to attach here. So I'm going to use a 3-point arc. And here to here. And then the last thing, don't forget to connect to the center here. So I'll use the line tool just to connect these 2 points. Perfect. And with that, we can then revolve, and then we have that piece. All right, so now we can move on to the blades. Now, as I mentioned, they're bigger in the middle than they are on the outside. So I'm gonna first sketch on the inside here what the center would look like. And maybe I'll use a slanted rectangle and something like that. And maybe it's important to get this centered, so maybe I'll try to get this centered. So using construction mode, I'll draw a line from the midpoint of this to the midpoint of that. And it looks like it's pretty well centered. And then I'll put a point right at the middle of this here. And that point I'll make coincident to this center line. So I'll go to coincident, select that point, and select the center line. There we go. And you can play with the thickness of this and maybe the angle. What angle are we at here? It doesn't look too bad. So maybe I want a thickness of about that. Oh, that's the angle. I'll lock this thickness. And see if I can move this around a little bit. Maybe something like that. Go like that. Okay. All right, so we have that sketch, and now I'm going to offset a plane out here, and this is where the end of our blade is going to be. So maybe out here somewhere. And I'm going to sketch on that. Now the end of the blade, if we take a look, kind of looks like an arc. So I'm going to make an arc out here. So I'll use the arc tool, and maybe it looks something like that. And maybe I'll make a concentric arc. So I'll click this arc here, and then I'll draw the 2 ends there using the concentric arc, and then just connect some lines here. Maybe I'll trim a little bit off on the end here using the delete segment. All right, and maybe it's a little too thick. Can we just make this a little thinner? Is it gonna let me? Of course not, that would be too easy. So maybe I'll dimension here to here, and let's make that 10. Yeah, so that's a little bit thinner. We'll lock that dimension, and let's see if I can bring this down a little bit. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Say okay. So now with those 2 sketches here, so we have this sketch in the center and this at the end, we're going to do a blend. So under shapes, we go blend. And I'm going to use selected sections. And under sections, we're going to select that first section. Click that. And then insert. And then we're going to select that second section. Now it's all twisted up here. So we're going to drag this ball here until it becomes untwisted. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. We have the blade there. And so we're going to say OK. So we have one blade. And now we need to complete 3 of these. So with this bent, I think the easiest way, with this blend highlighted, go up to pattern and create an axis pattern. And that center axis. And then we're going to have 3 of them total at a distance of 120 degrees apart. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Say OK. And not too bad there. I mean, there may be a few things that we can clean up, but you get the basic idea of how to make this propeller here.